Hey, please be aware of the ice raids in your local city. In Chicago, there has been some reports of a early ice raid in Little Village Monday morning, roughly between 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Otherwise, please know your rights. There has been
Ripping those families apart, not acceptable to Americans. And we're going to stand up for them in the state of Illinois.
Here in Chicago, a welcoming city, we will do everything in our power to make sure that people know what their rights are.
We are here with them. They are not alone, and we are here to protect each other.
We want folks to know that they can still send their children to school.
Can you imagine that your city has all types of issues, rent skyrocketing, you got education completely failing, the schools are absolute garbage. The city is damn near bankrupt because of overspending, mismanagement of funds, and one of the major funds is giving all types of freebies to a bunch of freeloading illegal immigrants. You got black on black crime. But instead of addressing all of these pressing issues, the leadership in Chicago is spending its time and your money on illegal immigrants, on protecting criminal migrants. So the people in Chicago are petrified, namely the leaders of Chicago, the Democrat left-wing activists on social media. They're petrified, and primarily the people who are getting filthy rich off of these freeloading illegal immigrants. They're staying in hotels, they're getting video games, they're getting free food. Now, the vendors aren't giving this away for free out of the kindness of their heart. No, the taxpayer money is going to these hotels and these vendors and all of that. So all of these people are petrified that the money is about to dry up. And illegal immigrants and activists who've been riled up by the Democrat leadership, they're petrified that these illegal immigrant criminals, ICE might run through and collect some of them and deport them. Now, we're going to look at a couple of TikToks of some of these activists, these left-wing activists, warning with specific information, warning these illegal immigrant criminals on how to try to avoid ICE. And we're going to look at the news clip for more context into what's going on. But before that, let me just explain a piece of Trump's operations that a lot of people seem to be missing. Because people think that Trump has an infinite amount of ICE agents and an infinite amount of money. He doesn't. We've had upwards of 50,000 illegal immigrants enter Chicago over the last 2 years. The federal government doesn't have enough resources to grab every single person. Then you look at New York, you look at Denver, you look at LA, all across the country, millions and millions of illegal immigrants have entered the country. Trump has to take the few dollars he has, the little resources that he has, and target them. So that's why they keep emphasizing we're going after the cartels, we're going after the drug dealers, we're going after the rapists, we're going after the game bangers, we're going after people like that. Now, I'm not saying that if you're an illegal immigrant and you're not engaged in that, you're safe, because anybody, if you're caught by ICE, anybody who's an illegal immigrant can be deported. That's not what I'm saying. But that's not the target. If you just happen to be caught, who knows? It could be in a variety of ways. I'm not going to get into all that. But they're going to Chicago and these other cities. They're going after the criminal migrants. That's where they're going to spend their resources. But we got these people sitting here trying to pull at people's heartstrings, like I said a couple of weeks ago, because they're trying to make it seem like Trump wants to rip babies out of mothers' arms. He just wants to take innocent grandpa and throw him across the border and let him die. That's not what's going on here. These people are gaslighting. Chicago leadership knows that they have a gang war on their hands. They know they have a bunch of criminal migrants who've been released from prisons and other places, from Venezuela, from Mexico. We got Chinese spies going on. We got all types of people like that. Now, that's who these people are going for. But these left-wing activists on TikTok, now, I don't give these people that much credit as gaslighting. I think these people are just idiots. They are sitting here telling people that the ICE raiders are just about to go everywhere in Chicago and it's about to kick doors down and drag everybody out. Now, if they're affiliated with some type of criminal activity, maybe that happen. But again, no illegal immigrant is safe, but every illegal immigrant is not the target of Tom Homan and Trump. But let's look at a couple of these TikTok clips to see what these people are telling these illegal immigrants.
Chicago, giving you a heads up in case you haven't heard. Trump is planning his bullshit ICE raids here in the city starting on Tuesday. Anyone you know who might be affected by this, just make sure that they are aware that the raids are supposed to be starting on Tuesday. And from what I've seen so far, they expect it to go for a week or so.
Are expected to begin in Chicago starting as early as tomorrow, January 21st. So I want to show you guys some different vehicles that you may see in the area prior to an ICE raid. So what you see here are branded Border Patrol vehicles. We have everything from trucks to vans to SUVs. There's even a bus that you can see on here. These images are specifically for North Carolina, but I would imagine most vehicles look pretty similar. So if you see anything that looks unordinary or out of the ordinary, make sure you're flagging it to the business owner so that they can prepare for any potential raids happening in their area.
This is not a drill. If you know anybody that will be directly affected by these raids, you need to reach out to them now.
If you see an ICE agent tomorrow, you are going to scream Les Migres at the top of your lungs.
As you can see, this isn't just general advice. This is some organized, probably headed by the DNC, some type of organized movement to fight against Trump's policies, to combat Trump, and to protect illegal immigrant criminals. Now, they always show children and moms crying and all that because they're trying to run in an emotional argument, because at the end of the day, they can't defend these criminals who are the target of Trump's raids. So they just try to deflect by showing stuff like that and hope that their voters and their constituents don't see what the real issue is. Now we're going to look at an ABC News clip because we got a leak. We got some type of insider thread. We got something going on here because the ICE raid that was allegedly scheduled for today has been postponed, has been rescheduled because information was leaked. But let's take a look at this ABC News clip.
The Chicago resistance greeted the start of a second Trump administration much like its first. But top Trump surrogates began burrowing into Chicago's Republican circle in December, promising at a holiday party to kickstart what he said would be the largest deportation operation in history.
And all that starts on January 21st. Yeah! And we're going to start right here in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah!
Sources told ABC News immigration and customs enforcement agents were planning a raid of sorts right out of the gates. Border czar Tom Homan has waffled on those plans in recent days. ABC 7 police affairs consultant Bill Kushner warns this might not be some grand show of force.
They're not going to just sweep everybody up and put them in a giant net. It's not going to be like fishing for shrimp. They're going to be very selective on who they arrest.
Two sources tell the I-Team federal authorities have identified dozens of targets for deportation. Sources say all of those so-called targets are either in custody, on bond, or wanted by law enforcement.
So Tom Homan, he was speaking broadly. He was saying, well, we're starting in Chicago. We're starting on the 21st. Now, this is over a month ago. So what Tom Homan was doing was outlining the plan. He's saying, look, we see all of the misery going on in Chicago with the spending, with the crime from the illegal immigrants. So we need to target that. Now, Tom Homan is not giving specific operational details as to what's going to go on. He's just setting the stage. But there's some type of mold because ABC News, they're talking about sources. Who the hell are these sources? And then you look at these TikTokers, they're saying, well, we have 200 ICE agents. They're going to be coming in this direction. They're going to be coming into this part of Chicago doing this. And there are many more videos where a lot of them in Spanish too, but they're giving specific information about the number of ICE agents, which direction, what time they're coming through. What the fuck is going on? Like, how did this information get out? And why is ABC News saying sources say? Tom Homan didn't tell them this. So at the time all these plans were being made, ICE was still under the Biden administration. So did Biden, the upper leadership in Biden's administration, did they leak some type of information? Or does Tom Homan, does Trump have some type of mold on his hands leaking information? Or did ICE coordinate with Chicago police saying, look, we're going to come in at this time. We need to do this and we need to do that. We're giving you heads up. Maybe we need your assistance. And the Chicago police, somebody in that network, did they leak this information to the press? Did they leak this information to these influencers online to warn the illegal immigrant criminals of a pending ICE raid so the illegal immigrant criminals can get away? We don't know exactly how this leak came through, but Tom Homey's already spoke out against this, and he's saying, look, we can't have leaks going on because if the cartels, if the gang trained in Agua, if they know when and where we're coming, they're going to be prepared, and we may get into some type of fight, and that increases the risk of danger for ICE agents. But like I said, we don't know. It could have came from inside of ICE. It could have came from Chicago police. We don't know what the hell is going on, but it looks like somebody's trying to protect illegal immigrant criminals. And I'm not surprised because this is what Democrats do. When you have criminals going around looting, when you have criminals robbing stores, robbing gas stations, jewelry stores, setting buildings on fire, the Democrats go out there and defend these people. Especially when they're black, when they're Latino, something like that, because they can cry racism and score points with their base. So I wouldn't put it past Democrat leadership at all. If they had this information, they will leak it to these influencers online. They will leak it to the news so it can get out there. They would just leak information about ICE raids or any other type of federal operation because Democrats are in the business of protecting illegal immigrants. They get paid off of it. Brandon Johnson and his friends up there, the people who own the hotels, the people who giving the food, the people who are helping construct these migrant shelters, the people wwho are giving away all these freebies, PlayStation, electronics, tablets, backpack full of goods, food, all of this stuff going to illegal immigrants, debit cards. These people are getting filthy rich off of it. So Democrats are incentivized. Look, we'll defend these gangs. We have tens of thousands of illegal immigrants here. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are violent gang members. But we can't let ICE come in and stop the gangs because that'll mess up our entire operation, our cash cow, which is this massive group of illegal immigrants. So that's what the Democrats are going to do. But we don't know. We'll see what comes in the future. We're on day one, obviously. It's been rescheduled, but who knows what's going on elsewhere. Maybe Tom Homan is bluffing. Maybe it's not rescheduled. Maybe he's going to catch him in the middle of the night. But who knows? What we do know is the Democrats are organized to defend illegal immigrant criminals against ICE, against Trump. Not because they give a damn about the safety of their neighborhoods, not because they care about the children, but because they're trying to protect their money. And of course, they're Trump deranged, and they'll do anything to go against Trump. Let me know what you think about this. Like, share, subscribe if you want more honest conservative commentary. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.